there and welcome to Witch Hazel's Cauldron. Today I'm going to talk about Winternights, which is very similar in many respects to Samhain, coming up later this month on the 31st of October. The timing is a little bit different, but I am choosing to celebrate on or about the same time as Samhain, just for continuity's sake and because I enjoy Halloween. So I wanted to make those kind of coincide at the same time. This time of year for me is very much dedicated to the ancestors. Ancestor worship is something that happens around the globe. It's very common, but for some reason is not highly accentuated in the Wiccan traditions, the Wiccan traditions, except on Samhain. Now, ancestors and the idea of spirits is very present, but it doesn't usually make it into the everyday workings of the tradition. One of the reasons that I enjoy Asatru as much as I do, why I chose it for my path, aside from that is just regionally, ethnically my background, is because of this focus on the ancestors. I had a very difficult time finding anything that spoke about ancestors outside of, say, hoodoo, voodoo, santeria, those traditions. Those traditions have a very heavy concentration on or focus on the ancestors. And I felt that was something lacking a little bit in my own practice, because the ancestors and family are extremely important to me. Where I got this idea of the family being so all important to me, I'm not sure. I grew up in a small immediate family, just my parents, my brother and sister and I. I saw my grandparents every now and again, my aunts and uncles, but the majority of my family was in Europe, so I saw them only rarely. And most of my family that was here in the United States, one grandfather and uncle, they were farther away, so I didn't see them on a regular basis. But somehow or other, I have always had this deep-rooted feel of family, that this is the most important thing I can have in my life, is my family. They are always there no matter what, through thick and thin. So I wanted to include that importance, that aspect in my own practice. And you'll see in another video why this is also important to me as far as actual ancestor worship. There is not really much as far as like an ancestor altar and that sort of thing within Asatru, but I have created that for my own reasons that I'll talk about later. So, for this particular holiday, there is a big focus on family and the ancestors. So I wanted to highlight that, and what I will be doing for Winternights includes, I have made an incense for the occasion that I will share with you, recipe and all of that in another video. I have a little bit of a rant about that. And additionally, I will be setting up an ancestor altar, which I'll be happy to show you. Hopefully it turns out nice. I will be doing a dumb supper, and for anyone who has not celebrated a dumb supper, it is basically a meal, dinner, prepared in silence, or actually not prepared, but served and enjoyed in silence, in which you invite your spirits, ancestors, loved ones, to join you. And I think this is a wonderful, wonderful tradition, so I'll be doing that as well. I will also be doing a little bit of divination for practice and for fun, and to help incorporate or gain insight from those ancestors who choose to join me on the holiday. So I think all of this will be very fun. And I'm hoping that I can continue this tradition of ancestor worship for a very long time. It's become especially important to me recently with the loss of my grandfather. He died almost a year ago, and circumstances surrounding that have been very sad for my family. It's one of those it's one of those things. Death brings out the worst in people. In this case, his widow, who he married her after my grandmother died when I was about 6 years old. And she has effectively cut off the family from anything of his, to the extent of even just mementos. If there's anything that we would like to have as a reminder of him, she's cut us off. So it's become especially important to me to create and maintain my ancestor altar, because this is, and I don't know how much detail I want to go into because I thought it would be nice to have a separate video on ancestor altars, but this is my permanent connection to the loved ones who have gone before. I don't need any of their things, any material things. I have memories, and with an altar I have a means of continuing communication with them, even though they're gone, and remembering them even more. So that is why it's very important to me to keep the ancestors within my tradition. On that, let me think. Do I want to mention anything else about Winternights? I don't think so. I just wanted to kind of go over my plan for the holiday, and I will be posting more about that probably on my website, on the blog, so if anyone wants to look into it. And I will also be doing a couple of other videos about my ancestor spirit bottle that I want to show you. The incense I'll be doing for Winternights, and also I promised a video on how I got started with crystals, and that happens to coincide as well with my ancestors, so I'll do that for you. Along with that, the only other topic I believe I had planned for October was talking about death and dying, what it means to me, and how I am incorporating it into my practice. So those are the topics of interest for me this month, and I am very interested to hear if those are also topics of interest for you, and how you in particular celebrate this month, October, and any additional traditions or correspondences that you think might be interesting for me to look into. I would very much appreciate that. So thank you again for watching, and I will head off to the next video. Bye!